folks, and on this cold day, as you can see, I'm pretty wrapped up. I've got my lamb's wool Scottish jumper on and we're going to have a see what's on the side of that. So here we go. Every watch collection should have one of these. Accurist Skymaster. 45 diameter round case. 22 mil lug. Analog digital. If you look at the shape of the windows at the bottom, they make up the Skymaster logo shape. They have no function. Has a light. Alarm. You see the top window, it tells you what things does. Stopwatch. It has splits, so you can stop it, catches it up, that stops. And it, after you've used the stopwatch, it goes automatically back into time mode. But if you cycle it through, it goes into set mode. See? Date at the bottom, day at the top. It's got a signed crown. Signed clasp, buckle rather, clasp. It's a spring case back on the back. It's like quite a high case back. It is quite a deep watch, but that's because it has two movements in. Now, the good thing about this is that it has two batteries in it. It's like when it can get around to focusing. Focus. There's like a shelf, which is the digital movement that sits on top, the analog movement, which is driven like, you know, so there's like a big coin, I think it's CR2032, that drives the digital side of it, and it's a smaller 389 that drives. It's a smaller cell like that drives. It's a 1.55 volt cell that drives the smaller bit, like, and it kind of like piggybacks itself, like, you know. It does actually have quite good lube. If you give me a second. Missed a moment there, but it does, like, you know, this is kind of like, you know, aimed at the, you know, somebody who wants, you know, something that is more functional. It's more of a tall watch. It's got like it's a fixed bezel. It's got tachymeter and everything else. None of that moves. Like, you know, the world timer version of this does, but that's a slightly different watch. Alright. There is a better version of this. You see where the Accurist and the logo is. There's actually that they've got rid of that and they've changed the windows around a bit. And there's an extra movement and an extra function window. That is I can't remember. It's basically it's very much like the Citizen Navihawk. Like, it's a Navihawk, Nighthawk, Navihawk, one of those, like, you know, but I mean, you know, you can use this as quite an effective pilot's watch if that's what you wish to use it for. Anything that needs measuring or anything that looks good. Like, you know, I mean, it is a functional man's watch. And, you know, it's one of those pieces is that, you know, if you are a serious watch collector, even though you may not like it, it's the sort of thing that you need to have in your collection simply because they're just so bloody good. And these fetch really good money. They absolutely, like, you know, I mean, I was surprised I got this for as little as I did. No, I mean, there's a little bit of paint like worn off on the edge of the top, like around the 1 o'clock mark. You know, but I mean, look, it's got lovely red stitching to complement the real leather. And I mean, it's not like, you know, layered leather like, you know, like a lot of these Chinese watches are. It's real leather. I mean, it's got a nice brush top, but very, very nice polished sides and ends. Yeah, oh, I quite like that. That's going to be kind of, you know, a popular wearer. So let's take it to the up view and we'll see what we do from that. So, gratuitous shot. The other thing I've got to say, it's got a domed crystal, and that gives it a much clearer thing. It isn't sapphire, I don't think, because where the 1 o'clock where he's taken the paint off the previous owner, there's a couple of tiny little scratches there. But I think that's more likely hard lax, if that's anything. So, you know, but I think, you know, what it is, it's neat, it's tidy, it does a lot of things that you want it to do. I mean, you know, these are reliable watches. Batteries no problem at all, changing the batteries no problem at all. Like, what's not to like, you know? I mean, this is why these are so seen as a very, very good tall watch, simply because, you know, you can wear these like out in the building site and, you know, it doesn't matter, it'll just keep taking, you know, the punishment because they're designed very well. So there you go, Accurist Skymaster. I like this one. I like this one than the other one because this one's like the black and the red, and it just, I mean, you know, I'm not really a fan of straps, but I quite like that. I'll put up with that. You know, yeah, I think that will do. That will be a wearer. It's really weird about these windows here, like, you know, that they've got like things, they light up and everything, but they don't do anything, but they make the shape of the Skymaster logo. So, you know, I know this is upside down, but like, you know, I think that's quite cool. I will actually get a set of instructions on how to actually read all these dials, and it look like these outer in a bezel, like what they actually do, because they do actually have a function. They didn't just stick a load of numbers on there and say, oh hey, like, you know, that'll look good. Right, you can see how high it is as well. Right, I mean, if you like big watches, then this is the one. Or if you like watches that have, you know, useful function, I mean, an alarm, what's it, a stopwatch, calendar. I mean, what more do you need? Like, you know, if you need anything else, then you need a different watch. And, you know, you can buy these quite cheaply. Every so often you see them in Argos and that going for about £30. So, you know, they're not super dear, but they are super functional. And I do love that crystal. That domed crystal is gorgeous. Can you see the size of the dome? You know. So, I'm a bit chilly today, that's why I've got a bloody hat on. Like, I've got a fire on beside me, I've got Scottish lamb's wool bloody jumper on as well, like, you know, thin layers on underneath it, thermal long johns on, you know, thick wool socks, like, you know, I'm just fed up with it, like, you know. Right, so, the Reliant is back, and, like, you know, surprisingly enough, I've got two advisories. I've nearly told you all to F off then, like, you know. Just remember, Americans, like, if you do that to somebody, you're telling them to F off. Two advisories. There's surface rust on the A-frame, which if I like, you know, like all I've got to do is while I brush it down, and like, you know, like the hand gestures today are just going to get me, aren't they? Like, you know, while I brush it down, and that looks even worse, like, you know. I'll stick a wire wheel into me like cordless drill, like, and I'll just like, you know, like I'll just like wire brush it down, like put some like cure rust on it or something, which I've got, like, you know, which I never got around to doing before it went for its MOT, otherwise it would have been all right, and just paint over it, like, you know, and then it won't be an advisory anymore, like it'll be, you know, seen as treated, seen as dealt with. The rust hasn't gone through, so that's not, it's just surface paint, it's where the paint's come off and surface rust has got onto it. And the second one, now you think about this, like I've had this car nearly 10 years, right, is I've got to put, you know, my rear tyres are down, coming down, they are, they're 3.5mm tread left, like, so it's just an advisory to say, hey, look, you're going to need to, like, you know, do your tyres at some point, like, you know. So there we go, like, you know, I mean, that's what it, like, you know, they sorted out. What was the headlamps white was is where I got that HID loom, like, you know, which I fitted. It's working brilliantly, no problems at all. It's the bloody cheap Chinese bloody relays that had died in it. I never thought of checking the relays, like, you know, I thought like, you know, being vandalised. No sign of vandalism, like the front right indicator, the what is it, the the line had broken quite, it broken just after where the repeater came off of the line. So, like, you know, like he just chased up and put a new line in there. He put a there was a bad crimp on one of the side lights. Done that. Lights all working, like, you know. So apart from that, like, you know, everything else, brakes, suspension, seat belts, steering, like, you know, all the safety stuff, double thumbs up. So, you know, but I have got something going wrong, because I got into town last night, and what happened was like I just get, it had to be the roadworks as well. It was driving like a dream, like, you know, with a new exhaust on it. It was beautiful, and I've got to give Bennettsfield Garage their due. They do always a good job, and I'll give them a little drink on top, you know, to say thank you, like, you know. I'll put a thing up so you can, if you've got a classic car, take it to them. They are absolutely, what they don't know about classic cars, like, you know, well, I mean, you know, they all operate Triumph Dolomites, Hillman Imps, they've got beautiful very early CA Dunlop, like an old road road track from a racetrack Dunlop CA van, like with slidey doors both sides, like, you know, it's in perfect condition. I mean, you know, they really know their stuff, like, you know, and the chaps there, Shane and Darren, the lady Fade who's on thing, I cannot fault them, like, you know, they are absolutely brilliant, like, you know. So, you know, give them, you know, if you've got a decent car and you want some decent work done to them, they are top dog, like, you know. And the fact is that they do class 3 and work and reliance is just a bonus, because they always do the professional job. So, you know, so I'm coming back from, like, you know, Wincanton yesterday, right, and like, it gets into the new roadworks up the road, like, it died, and it's like, oh my god. So, like, you know, people were shouting at me. I was getting ready to fight people, because people, get your piece of shit out of the road, like, you know. And I was like, fuck off, like, you know. And I was really having a good kick off and everything, like, you know. And a couple of geezers, builders, jumped out their van and give me a push off the road with it, like, you know. And I don't know what, so I rang them up and they said, oh, don't worry, we'll get somebody out to you, like. And I thought, like, you know, I'll just see what's wrong, like, you know. Just start it up again, no problem at all. And I'm thinking, oh, what the hell? So my suspicion is that I've had that electronic distributor on there for about 6 years, like, you know, and it's run perfectly and everything else. If it's overheating, which it may well have done, or, you know, then they just cut out, then they cool down and they work again. Right, it could also be I need to check all the wires around the coil, all the low tension circuit, like, and check the rotor arm, because it could just be a worn out rotor arm, like, you know. I doubt it is, because I've put a quite expensive, I've put like a Metro Blue one on there, or it could be a low, like, feed, like, you know, wire from the fuse box. I've just got to go through the electrics and see what it is. And that, usually I found with Reliance, when it's something like that, it's usually something really serious. It could be that it's got, like, you know, corrosion and crud in, like, because there's like where the low tension, like there's like a couple of crimp circuit joiners and stuff like that. It could be it just needs a bloody good clean out. So we shall see. If it is the distributor, I'm not going to piss around with it. I'm just going to buy another one, because it cost about 55 quid, right, and I've got 5-6 years like trouble-free motoring out of it. That means I can have one for spare, I can repair that, like, you know, stick a new electronic module in, bish bash bosh, and it's sorted, like, you know. I mean, so, like, you know. And there's the one thing with the Reliant, it's great to have lights again. I came back with lights working, it was brilliant, you know. So I mean, if you know, if I want to go to KFC in the evening, right, you know, I could just go, right, you know, without having to wait for daylight. Then I, like, you know, and also, like, you know, if I could got pulled over or something, like, I could have got done. If, like, you know, if, like, I'd had the job's worth, like, traffic old bill or something, like, you know, because they, you know, lights are supposed to work, like, you know. But the only way they can tell if it's not working at night is when you're not running your lights on, like, you know. But everything else is working, stereo's working, all that. I'll get round to putting new speakers in and things like that, you know. So there we go. The Reliant is back now. Like, you know, I'm going to be talking with Shana with this when she comes down, and, like, you know, what do I do? Do I keep the old girl and take her up to Scotland, or do I, with a brand new MOT, like, do I say, right, you know, let somebody else have fun with her, like, you know, and use the money of that, get my Vespa professionally fixed up, and then just use my Vespa, because it is only just me, like, you know, or what, like, you know, I mean, what do I do? Like, I would like to be back on two wheels, like, you know, I mean, it is only me, and I can always get like a top box or something, like, you know, for putting shopping in, like, you know, or a backrest or something, you know. So I mean, carrying stuff, I mean, if I've got enough money left over, I could even buy a sidecar which can carry everything, including cats and cat carriers and all sorts, and, you know, so it's all to think about, like, you know. Let's get Christmas out of the way, I've talked to sensible minds, you know, put an idea down in the comments, like, you know, I mean, do I go back on the two wheels? Do I stay on three? Or, like, you know, I could use the money from that, like, you know, I could get my car license back, like, you know, by going, you know, doing a residential course. I mean, because where Steph lives, right, they had a nearly 100% pass rate, like, you know, at their local driving test centre, and that is literally just over the walk from where Shana lives. That's where we'll be living, like, you know, and it'd be a fool's thing not to go there, like, you know, because I think you'd probably have to be a completely ridiculous idiot, like, you know, to actually fail. It's like 99.9% pass, like, you know, for the last 10 years, like, you know, because it is quite small, very logical. There's it's like one-way system, and, you know, you can't go wrong, like, you know. I mean, what they do, apparently they go around the town, like, you know, is it, and I mean, I tell you something, if it wasn't for my bike licence, I wouldn't be driving at all, like, you know. But luckily you can drive a Reliant on a bike licence, or you can drive a Reliant on a car licence, like, you know. So you know, we'll take that down there, you know, take it under advisement and all that, like, you know. I do like the Reliant, it is great fun to drive, like, you know. It's you know, it's just a shame that paintwork on it is just so knackered, like, you know. I don't know what the previous owner put on it, like, you know, but I don't know, it's like chalky, like, cooker enamel, and it just doesn't come off. Strip it, don't take it off. Sandpaper, I mean, you put like a sander disc on it and it's clogged instantly, but it hasn't taken anything off the paint. You know, I mean, if you put paint on it, it goes curly and just falls off, like, you know. I mean, I've had the paint, like, to do it for ages. Anyway, I'm going to leave that with you. Another gratuitous look at the old Accurist, like, you know. definitely pleased with that. Like, you know, it is just a very, very, you know, it is kind of the Ford Cortina or the Ford Mondeo of the watch world. Like, you know, it does what it says on the tin. It does everything it says on the tin well. They work. The batteries apparently last 5 years. Like, you know, so that's pretty good. Like, you know, it is a no frills, no fuss. You know, it's a geezer's watch. You know, you're not going to be pulling the birds wearing this, but then, like, you know, like, but then again, it's not going to be like needing, like, you know, servicing every 3 months and like falling to bits if you don't, like, you know. So I approve of this. This gets a double thumbs up, like, you know. The Reliant gets a bit of a double thumbs up, like, you know. I mean, it was travelling beautifully from Wincanton, and it just, like, right at the one place where I reckon it may have also been the fact that I was in traffic as well. Like, you know, it was like I was just like, we're just moving forward, and like the lights just changed green, and like it just went boom, stop. Like, you know, it beep beep beep. I mean, I was getting it. And when the people saw how big I am, like, you know, they stopped shouting names at me because, like, you know, I mean, it's like some of that, like, you know. I mean, every, like, that there is a Z plus 4 finger. Just imagine that, like, you know, like, I mean, that's a Z plus 2, that's a Z plus 1, and like, that is a Z. I mean, you know, talk about plates of bloody sausages, like, you know, I mean, this is a big hand. I mean, you know, you start waving that with somebody's nose, like, you know, that their nose goes. Right, enough of that, like, you know. I'll catch you in the next one, and stay safe, stay legal, be lucky, and all the rest of it, like, you know. And there'll probably be one more before Christmas, like, you know, if someone another one when the Accurist Dancing Hands turns up, because I'm looking forward to that one. Okay, catch you in the next one. Toodle pip.